What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The stream is upon you. Once again, it's a Friday and I am streaming because why the fuck not? How is everyone on this Friday evening? I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's looking for the weekend, unless you're working. I'm so sorry if you're working, but some people don't work on the weekend, so hopefully people will have a good, whatever your weekend is, have a good weekend, guys. That's all I can say. Hope everyone is doing good. Be sure to drop your comments and questions down below in the chat, and I'll get to them in due course. Bit of a late one tonight. Usually my time is 8:30, but I thought I'll go a bit later, about 9:30, maybe do a couple of hours. But I always say it's going to be a couple of hours. It never is a couple of hours, guys. You know how it is. All depends if we get people coming on later on in the stream, maybe. It all depends. I'm not feeling too great, so it might just be me tonight on the stream. I've got a bit of a headache. I started my new job today, so it was just like overload of information. So I didn't drink much either. So I think it's a case of like just my brain turned to mulch and dehydration. So that's why I have tea and a bottle of water as well. So got to keep myself hydrated when I'm a bit stressed, but it is what it is. But yeah, planning to go and see Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City tomorrow. There's a 4:00 showing at my local Cineworld, so looking forward to that. Sort of looking forward to it. I'm trying to go into it with an optimism, because this film, even though I hated the trailer for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, the reception has been fairly mixed. I've seen people that downright hate this movie, and I've seen people that are actually pleasantly surprised by this film. So we'll see where I stand with it. I may do a review. I haven't decided whether I should do a review or not, because I don't really consider myself to be very good at doing reviews, but I digress. But yeah, Resident Evil, guys, have you guys seen it? Let me know in the comments. And let me know what you thought about it. But like I said, I've heard very, very divisive things. Some, there's no middle ground with this film. Some people really enjoyed it and some people really hate it. But we'll see. I enjoy the Paul W.S. Anderson films. To some extent, they're dumb, turn your brain off action movies that I quite enjoy. So we'll see. Hopefully this is more faithful to the games. But remember, guys, just because it's being faithful to the games doesn't mean it's going to be a good film. I can say that with with people that talk about, this director who directed the original film for this series is returning to do a new film in the franchise. Doesn't mean it's going to be good, man. Doesn't mean it's going to be good. But yeah, that's just one of those things. Let me get to the comments. We have Andy from Forgot Rid of Movies. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you jumping on. I'm doing all right. Just a bit tired and fucking worn out with just information overload with my new job. What was I going to say? Yeah, just a bit of information overload, because they tried to give me all the training in 4 hours today. It was a nightmare. But it's all right. Hopefully it'll just get easier as I go along. My love is in the chat. Sophie, welcome. I love you and I miss you, Soph. You know this. You know how it is. And the sad thing is, I'm not sure when I can see you next. You'd have to come down here, Soph. I don't think I'm even going to have time to find time to get to you with my new job. So you might have to come and see me. I'm sorry. Anyway, enough of that soppy crap. Moving on. We have Playtender guy in the chat. Hello, Pete. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Jason. I hope your day went well. It went as well as it can be. I was only in work for 4 hours. It was my first day. It was mostly just training and information overload. I've not even dented the kind of training that they expect me to do. So it's going to be a overwhelming 12 weeks. This 12 weeks probationary period is going to be quite overwhelming in that regard. BG London says hi, hello mate. It says hello, hi mate. Well, welcome to the stream, appreciate it. Plato guy says, I've heard mixed things over the new Resident Evil film. I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of it. Yeah, I'm hoping it's I'm hoping it's competent. But like I said, very mixed, very very mixed, very mixed opinions on that film by the looks of it. But I don't know where I'm going to go with it in terms of am I going to give the film a pass because it's apparently more faithful to the games? I'm a massive Resident Evil fan, so you never know. You never know. BG London says nope. I'm guessing he's referring to the new Resident Evil film. Frags Gaming, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining. He says, good evening, buddy. Well, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well on this Friday evening. BG London says the old one, 2002. So he prefers. I don't know if he are you saying nope to the original, or or is the old one better than the new one? Let me know, BG London. I'd like to know what you mean by nope, the old one, 2002. We have Gary, the Blu-ray addict. Hello, Gary. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you jumping on. We have Draco. Hello, Draco. I hope I pronounced your name right. Draco. It's like fucking Sean Connery, the dragon. In Dragonheart, it's called Draco. He says, greetings, my UK boy. Well, greetings to you, sir. And Soph says, don't get paid till the 20th. Love, maybe New Year will be. We'll be seeing each other before then. I don't care. Like, at least before Christmas. Definitely. Don't worry, Soph. Yeah, we'll sort something out. Any questions for me, guys? This stream dies on a hill if I have no questions. It relies solely on chat engagement and chat questions. So, because I'm all for this shit without anything to like bounce off of. So throw your movie questions or whatever questions to me, and I will try to answer. I should really think about stopping doing these solo ones because literally I will die. I die in a hill. Die in a hill with these solo streams because it's all about engagement. Vigilante says, "I've seen the old Resident Evil movie 2002." So you don't like it? London, the original, because I think that's quite an underrated movie in terms of what it is. Gary says, last film you watched? I watched half. Bear in mind, this is going to be a negative sort of viewpoint on this. I watched maybe like 45 minutes to an hour of a film called Stakeland. It's like a post-apocalyptic vampire movie. Didn't like it at all. I really couldn't get on board with the characters or anything going on really, so I can't just turn that off. Just didn't want to really make it through actually finishing that film. I just thought it wasn't very engaging for me. It felt like they were trying to go a similar route to like Zombieland, but have more of a serious take, have a more of a serious movie. So it's got the kind of ideas that Zombieland had, but with vampires. And it's more serious, but I didn't like it at all. I just couldn't make myself push through Stakeland at all. I just didn't think it very good. Aside from that, if I ignore Stakeland, the last film I watched was Halloween 3. It was a first time watch, and again, unfortunately, I love the opening sequence with almost, it looks like a CRT kind of scan lines making the pumpkin, which is really, really cool. I love that. It gave me Terminator vibes, and then I realized that Halloween 3 came out before Terminator, so maybe Terminator got inspired by that opening credits, but it gave me proper Terminator vibes, even with the soundtrack over the top where they just got the scan lines making the pumpkin. Is the opening credits for that film is fantastic. Overall, Halloween 3 for me, I didn't think it was anything special. I know there's been almost a resurgence of love for Halloween 3 recently, but maybe it'll grow me on a further viewings. But on that initial watch, I didn't really get much from it personally. I thought it was okay. It wasn't awful. It wasn't nothing groundbreaking, but it is what it is. I just didn't get much out of that film personally. But again, I might watch it a year from now and actually really enjoy it on a second watch. You never know. As for a film that I've watched very recently that I really did like, because these two recent two kind of movies I mentioned are sort of like mixed to negative. When it comes to a really positive movie that I watched for the first time a couple of days ago that I really loved was The Burbs with Tom Hanks. I had a good time with that movie. It was a good fun film, just about a neighborhood being nosy bastards, and I just really had a good time with it. I think Tom Hanks is great in it. The supporting cast are fantastic as well. Yeah, I had a really good time with it. Just a great looking film as well. Great soundtrack. Yeah, Joe Dante just kicking out of the park like usual. Really enjoyed The Burbs. Let me know if you've seen The Burbs, guys, and what you think of it. It's a quintessential 80s film for me. I think it's going to be in my list of like must watch 80s movies, because I really had a good time with it. Mike McBurney. Hi Jason, hope you're well. I start a new job on the 13th, and my itinerary for January is full of training and courses. Yeah, I've got 12 weeks of it where I'm working. I'm not going to disclose where I work because I'd rather not, but it's literally just 12 weeks of just like on basically like 5 hours a day on the computer. It's going to be brain numbingly dull, but it is one of those things. It's what you got to do, I suppose, to get paid and do the job right and whatnot. But I'm just thankful to be able to have some money for Christmas and actually be able to like get my family and girlfriend and friends actual Christmas presents and actually enjoy Christmas this year, because last year wasn't the best of years for Christmas, as I just lost my dad in the September of last year, so that Christmas wasn't the best. It was kind of a really kind of brutal, raw Christmas, to be honest. So I'm really looking forward to actually enjoying this one this year and actually being with friends and family and stuff. But yeah, full of training and courses and computer bollocks. Anyway, Draco says, I wondered if you ever had anything to do with Warhammer or any tabletop gaming. Recently got into that good shit. I have not really, not at all. Really haven't got into any of that stuff, if I'm honest. My cousin used to be into Warhammer a little bit when I was a bit younger, when I was about maybe like 10 years old. I'd go around here and he'd be painting his little, the little kind of like Space Marines and whatever other, I don't really know the lore or anything like that. He'd be painting the Space Marines, and like it sounds cool, but like I don't have the brain capacity to really kind of learn all the ins and outs for those kind of tabletop games, especially games so intricate like Warhammer. I don't mind like tabletop games. Like I played a game called King of New York, and it was almost like a kaiju kind of dice game. It was really fun. I enjoyed that. That was quite cool. Like you roll a dice and you can like accrue power, and then you can like attack another monster trying to take over New York, and you're trying to be the king of New York. I think it's called King of New York. I could be wrong, but it's called something to that effect. It's a game like that where it's like you got King Kong or something that looks like King Kong, a monster that looks like Godzilla or sort of similar to Godzilla, and you've got another monster, I forget, but it's a board game about 3 monsters trying to take over a city. You've got to like build up your power and just defeat the 2 other players that are playing with you. A lot of fun. I did play. I'm not really into like tabletop gaming at all, really, but I have played stuff. I played Arkham Horror, and I was bored out of my mind playing Arkham Horror with 2 of my friends. Wasn't really my thing. I've dabbled in Dungeons and Dragons as well. I just find it mind-numbingly boring. I don't have the imagination for that kind of stuff, and obviously Dungeons and Dragons hinges on imagination in a big way, so I couldn't really get on board with that. But that's just me. I'm glad that you're really getting into that stuff. It's really cool. I was really into like tactical turn-based card games like Magic the Gathering as well, if that counts. I don't think does that count as, it probably does count as a tabletop game. I was really into Magic the Gathering for a little while until I realized I suck at it, and I just gave up, because that's what I do these days. It's like once the fun stops, I tend to stop with games. Once I'm not having fun, what's the point of playing anymore? Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it. Sophie says, congrats, Martin. Yeah, I forgot to mention Martin. Sorry about that. Yeah, congratulations on your new job, man. We're both in the same boat. Mike Woods, evening, Jason. Hope you're okay. Currently watching The Last Duel. Have you seen it? So far, it's okay. I have not seen it. I do believe it's on a Disney. It's on Disney Plus, because if it is, I won't be giving them my money. But I'm not going to get into that. It's all to do with politics and China and communism and all that bollocks. But yeah, I've heard it's pretty good, but it's not a film that I've really kind of seen much about, if I'm honest. Mike, I will like to invite you on the channel if you want to come on the stream in a week or so, whenever you want. It'd be cool to have you on if you want to come on, because you're very early in your YouTube journey, but your channel is, the high production values is unbelievable. So really enjoying your channel, mate. Just thought I'd shout out. Give you a shout out. Everybody go and subscribe to Mike Woods. He's got a great channel. Gary says, Stateland is not great and the sequel is even worse. There's a sequel? Well, damn. I didn't think it would. How is Stateland good enough to get a sequel? That's amazing. That is amazing. Sophie says, did you enjoy seeing Godzilla 1954 on the big screen? I loved it. You know I did, Soph. You know that I loved it. I absolutely had a blast with it. The 4K restoration was unbelievable. I would go and watch it again because it's just the best film of all time, to be fair, in my opinion. But that's just me being super biased to Godzilla, of course, the 1954 film. Beach Lander says, I loved the old Resident Evil franchise. I liked maybe the first three. I liked Resident Evil from 2002, Resident Evil Apocalypse from 2004, and then Resident Evil Extinction. I like those ones. After that, I think it goes really batshit, just bad. So, yeah, I think the first three Resident Evil films were pretty decent. Decent. That's a bit high praise. They were competent, fun action films for what they were. Gary says, have you watched any of them Friday the 13th fan films yet? I've still not got around to seeing any of them. I only bought that from you, Gary, solely because it's got the Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow kind of like super cutted together. And those two are some of the best Friday the 13th anything to come out. And you can watch them. You can watch them free on YouTube. They are unbelievable. They are fantastic. I'm just like, I don't understand why New Line Cinema and Paramount won't just give this guy the director's chair to do a new one, because this guy, he understands the franchise just to a T. So yeah, definitely, Gary, I urge you, check out Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow. They are both amazing. The production values for a little kind of fan film is just it. They've maximized their budget in a great way. So really, really recommend those two fan films. I've not seen any of the others that was on that Blu-ray, but I will get around to eventually, and I'll be sure to let you know what I think of those. Gary also says The Burbs is amazing. Yes, it is. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The guy says, what is your favorite Johnny Depp film? I don't think I've got one, if I'm honest, because I don't think I've seen many of his films aside from Nightmare on Elm Street, but he's kind of a side character in that. Pirates of the Caribbean 1 and 2. Can't think of anything else I've seen him in. Not on the top of my head, anyway. He's in Donnie Brasco, but I've not seen that in years, so I can't really comment on that film. Yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Sophie would remind me on what films Johnny Depp is in that I've probably seen that I can't remember seeing, but it doesn't matter. Blended Guy says, your top Arrow video artwork was a great idea for a video. Arrow artwork is the best in the business. Yeah, I think they do a really good job. I appreciate the compliment as well, Pete. That's really nice of you to say. But yeah, I think Arrow are the best in the business for recommissioned artwork. They are amazing. It just makes me dream of what they would have done if they got the Showa era collection before Criterion did, because I reckon Arrow would have done a more fitting commissioned artwork for those films. Sure, I love the Criterion Showa set. I love the artwork as well, but the artwork is a bit too flamboyant and colourful for that set, in my opinion. I reckon Arrow would have done a much more fitting kind of artwork for those, but I could dream, right? It's never going to happen because Criterion's got it. and they put it out. Sophie says, I remember my brother letting me paint some Warhammer figures first and last time he let me do it. Yeah, that's the thing with those ones that are not painted. I don't think I could paint them. I don't think I've got like the skill to like be just paint things that small with such a little bit of paint. If I were to get into Warhammer, I'd buy the pre-painted ones, but I guess they're more expensive, right? I've seen that. I've seen how ludicrous. Can't say that word, guys. I've seen how ludicrously expensive the Warhammer stuff is. Platinum Guy says, I watched The Last Duel with Jodie Comer yesterday and thought it was decent, if overlong. The titular Last Duel was epic, mind. Cool. Sounds good, mates. Platinum Guy says, as the HMV premiums on offer, any of them are you thinking of getting? Well, I put in I humoured myself. I put in 10 titles off the premium collection in my basket. 75 quid for 10 titles is pretty good for a premium collection. I put 10 titles in there. I think I had stuff like the remaining Stanley Kubrick films that I don't own on premium. So Barry Lyndon, Clockwork Orange. Oh, what else was that shit? Someone remind me of what else? I've got The Shining. I've got 2001. I've forgotten. But you get my point. The remaining Stanley Kubrick films that are on premium, I put those in my basket. There's a film called Time After Time that just sounds really good that I put in my basket. My brain's gone dead. Logan's Run was a really fun movie. I watched it with my dad when I was a kid. I don't really remember much about it too much, so I put that in my basket to check it out. But yeah, there's a bunch that I'm planning to pick up because I just think it's a great collection and there's some really, really great kind of relics of old in that collection that are worth picking up. Draco says, my Warhammer buddies really liked Magic the Gathering too, but I don't. Also, what the fuck? How have they enough money for both? Yeah, right. I got a friend who, when there's a new, so with Magic the Gathering, you get these things called commander decks. And when a new commander deck, there's usually like 4 decks that come out at once, like brand new ones, maybe every 3 months or so. So my mate buys all 3, and they're like 30 quid a pop. So he buys all 4, and it's like 120 quid, boom, on Magic the Gathering. I was like, I can't do it. It's just like, what the hell? I'd rather spend that kind of money on movies I love, on Arrow sales or Indicator sales or 88 films, or just not on Magic the Gathering. No, thank you. But again, I've already gone through the whole money pit that is Magic the Gathering, and I've got a bunch of cards in a box somewhere. I used to play, but I just fell out of it very quickly. It just became a bit. I just wasn't good at it, and when you're not good at it, you're not having fun. Why play? It's just the way I see it, anyway. Mike Maberni says, Jason, what's your Pharaoh? Can't talk. Jason, what? 1 second, guys. My throat's dying already. Jason, what's your favorite Arrow release? Mine's American Werewolf in London. Absolutely love that movie, but Arrow release is the definitive version, in my opinion. I've mentioned this numerous times. When it comes to regardless of movie, the actual release that I think is the best thing they've put out, which would be the Gamera complete collection, collector's edition, the massive box they brought out of the Gamera films. Absolutely stellar release. I absolutely loved it. I pre-ordered it immediately, and when I got it, it was just like the most coolest fucking release thing ever. I think it's better than the Criterion Godzilla set. I said it. I think it's presented better. It's presented nicely, and also the good thing about Arrow is that people that didn't get that collector's set was able to get the movies in their own individual Showa and Heisei set. So at least Arrow kind of gave the option to get cheaper sets, whereas Criterion with the Godzilla set, you can't do that. That's it. It's just the big massive book Showa collection is all you got. You can't get smaller collections or the films individually, which I thought was a bit of a piss take, to be honest. But yeah, Gamma the complete collection collector's edition is my favorite Arrow release. As for film, I'm probably going to say The Thing, because I love The Thing, and just for underrated shout out, the Horror Express. Horror Express is amazing. Like The Thing on the Train, that's what Horror Express is, with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. I highly recommend everyone who's a horror fan to check that film out. It's so good. Andy, I've forgotten what the movie says. As Godzilla 54 is your favorite of all time, what would be your second favorite movie of all time? Critters. Without question, Critters. It never used to be always me. It wasn't always Critters. But over this last year or so, I've just had to reevaluate that film in a big way. It's a big comfort film for me. It's probably a boring answer because the two things you guys have probably heard me talk about is Godzilla and Critters. But yeah, even though Godzilla is my favorite film of all time from a technical standpoint and from a social commentary of the time, a very dark kind of look at atomic power, and a very, very dark film in terms of its subject matter and themes. Critters is a favorite movie of mine based on just enjoyment factor and just general comfort. I put that film on when I feel like shit. I put on Critters. It's weird when people talk about when you watch a really depressingly bleak film and you've got to put some Care Bears on, or some Sooty in Sophie's case. I'd put on Critters to cheer me up. That's just a really comfort movie that I always will go to. Out of all the films in my collection, it's the film I've seen the most. I've watched the most for sure. That may seem crazy in terms of it's not my favorite film of all time, but I guess you don't always pick out your favorite film to watch. You always pick out a film that is an easy watch that you just it's that fast food. It's that McDonald's of movies for me. And I love it. Critters is going to be that is my number 2, my second favorite movie of all time. I love that film so much that I cannot express how much joy that film brings me. It's just, I love that so much. It's awesome. Mike says, Tuesday, yeah, that'd be great. Let me know whenever you want me on. That's cool, man. No worries. I'll be in touch, man. Are you on Mike? Are you on Instagram? Let me know. So if you do, follow me, or I'll follow you, and whatever. Yeah, we get through the contact stuff, all that bollocks at some point. Beach London says, I watched the King's Speech. I watched the King's Speech, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk back to back, an unofficial trilogy. Interesting. I've seen none of those, so I can't really. I have no context because I've not seen those films. I do apologize, dude. But yeah, but I'll keep that in mind, maybe for an unofficial trilogy. Sounds cool. Sophie says, as I own 90% of Johnny Depp films, we need a marathon of these films. That'd be good. I'll be up for that. As long as we don't put any musicals in there, I'm good. That's a caveat, Soph. No musicals. I can't sit and watch a musical. Can't do it, guys. Draco says, I still want Arrow to get their hands on Starship Troopers and then get Matt for the cover, for fuck's sake, please. I tell you what, Starship Troopers, that's a good shout for Arrow. A very good shout. I'd be there with you signing the petition for Starship Troopers for Arrow to release that. BJ Lander says Donnie Brasco versus Blow. I've not seen Blow, so I guess Donnie Brasco wins by default. I suppose I've not seen Blow, so I can't really comment. That's not a fight I can decide who wins because I've not seen one film. Mike McBurney says, have you seen the Rocky 4 director Scott? I haven't, and I just don't care. If I'm honest with you, I just whatevs. The film is so old now to the point where it's just I find it difficult to be hyped about a new cut. Why is this coming out now? Why couldn't we have had it years ago? There's a point where companies are just trying to push nostalgia to sell shit, and I think Rocky 4 director's cut I think that's big evidence of that. Remember Rocky 4? Yeah, this has got new footage. Watch this new version, even though it's the same film, but it's got maybe I don't know how much more footage. But yeah, I don't really have any inclination to check that out, if I'm honest. Maybe if they put out a new set and it's included in the set, and I can just upgrade my old Blu-ray set, maybe. But that's as far as I go with that. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, Sov. Yeah, the other Stanley Kubrick premium collection was Full Metal Jacket, because I've not seen that film and I think it's great. Gary says, are you looking forward to the new Scream film? I'm very unsure about it, but I will check it out. And the trailer's got me quite interested, intrigued. I like how they've brought it forward and they're showcasing technology and and moving with the times, which I always thought is really important when you're doing a sequel that is so far apart from the previous sequel. I think that's important. So I'm interested. I made the mistake of watching the 4 films back to back. One film one night, then the second film, then very basically consecutive nights watching all 4 of them, and I got really tired of the formula very quickly. 1 and 2 are still the best in my opinion. 3 is the worst. 4 is okay. Didn't think it was great. But yeah, I made the mistake of watching those 4 back to back, and I got tired of that formula very quickly. I refuse to believe this shit happens to Sidney Prescott 4 times. I just, maybe 1 and 2 make sense, but the other 2 times I can't buy it. And for it to happen again is hard to believe, I guess, with this franchise. But as a horror franchise, right? Repetition is the name of the game. But yeah, I'm intrigued. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be the first one without Wes Craven, which kind of worries me a little bit because he's the mastermind of this franchise. It's why the first one was such a huge success, of course. But we'll see, I suppose. We'll see. Fingers crossed that it's good. Because even though I don't really like 3 that much, the franchise is quite consistent so far. So hopefully it'll be all right. So he says, or as Pete calls it, full metal jacket potato. That's brilliant. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Andy from Forgotten of Movies says Time of Time is pretty good. Yeah, the blurb on the on HMV store sounded interesting. I do like a good old time travel movie if it's done right. I don't think anything will top Back to the Future in terms of time travel, but I think that's obvious at this point, right? Vigilante says, have you seen Army of Themes on Netflix? I have not, and nor do I want to. The whole idea of Army of the Dead being a heist film with zombies sounded cool. It wasn't good at all. It was bad. I didn't like it whatsoever. It was too long. Batista can't act. I just didn't think it was good. So taking the zombie aspect out of a heist, this film that is meant to be this big heist movie with zombies, and doing a prequel to that with no zombies, literally it takes the only cool thing of Army of the Dead away. So I have no interest in that, unfortunately. Drago says the camera collection is, and I stand by that, the best fan collection movie set ever. I think you're onto something, Draco. I think you're onto something there. I think I might have to agree. I might have to. Yeah, I think I might have to agree. However, the Friday the 13th Scream Factory box set is pretty killer. Just saying. Platinum Guy says, been playing Alan Wake on PS4 Pro, and it's a really good thriller. Remedy is a fantastic developer. Yeah, I've still got mine on Xbox sealed. I've not opened it yet. I'm terrible at getting to playing video games. I'm still playing Evil Within 2 at the moment. I'm on like chapter 5, I think, at the moment. I need to actually jump back on that and actually wrap that up, because I've kind of stopped playing games for a little bit at the moment. But yeah, from what I remember of playing of Alan Wake when it was on 360, I really enjoyed it. And Control is probably Remedy's best game. Control is amazing. If any of you are into video games, you haven't played Control, I really, really recommend you play Control. It's fantastic. So he says, although Sweeney Todd is a musical, it's not in-your-face musical. I would recommend it, my love. Okay, we'll see. We will see. Plino Guy says, I finally watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, and for someone who don't like musicals, I surprisingly enjoyed it. It's certainly a surreal film, but it has a great soundtrack. I've still not watched it yet, but I do have it on my shelf to check out at some point. Mike Wood said, "I will follow you on Instagram now." Thanks a lot, mate. Really appreciate it. Drop me a hello in the DMs. Are they called DMs now? I forget what you would call. Just message me on Instagram. I don't know what the fucking terminology is in the internet these days. Mike McBurley says, "I recently watched Masters of the Universe starring Dolph Lundgren. One of my guilty pleasures. What movie is your guilty pleasure, Jason?" I get this question a lot, and I don't believe in the term guilty pleasure because I'm not guilty for what I like. So literally the question is just mute at this point, right? Unlike you, I quite enjoy the Masters of the Universe movie. I think Dolph Lundgren is perfect as He-Man. I think he's got the physique. I think he's got the look. I just think he's great as He-Man. And in terms of just like how his physicality and stuff like that, is really, really good. See, like I've got to think of films that I think people think are guilty pleasures. I can't think. I really can't think of anything. Resident Evil 2002, is that a guilty pleasure? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Sonic the Hedgehog, I love that movie, but then again, I'm not guilty for it, so I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Okay, this one. The 2012 Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have a lot of fun with both of those movies. Maybe they're guilty pleasures, but I'm not guilty for liking them. So you tell me, Martin. You tell me, mate. I don't know. But yeah, that's, I guess, those two other ones. The Resident Evil franchise, the Paul W.S. Anderson, and the main Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. I quite enjoy those for what they are. They're just dumb fun, aren't they? Big Line says, favorite Stanley Kubrick movie. Well, I've only seen two. I've seen A Clockwork Orange and The Shining. So I'm probably gonna go with probably The Shining because I could see myself rewatching that a bit more. Clockwork Orange is a very tough film to sit through. It tackles some very deep-seated, disturbing themes that, it's not a film I would go back to very often, but I could go back to The Shining. It's a very, very, very strong horror film that I think it's got a lot of replay value. So I would probably say The Shining out of the two films I've seen. Playing Guy says, apparently we'll be getting a trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 next week at the Game Awards. Why the Game? Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah. But that Game Awards is no longer a award show, is it? It's like a bloody game advert show. Promote your games here. It's so corporate. It's become so corporate now. It used to be like an indie awards thing, but now it's become just all the bloody judges are fucking from massive corporations. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. But yeah, Sonic Hedgehog 2, man. I'm fucking well hyped for Sonic Hedgehog 2, man. They're bringing Tails, they're bringing Knuckles. We might get a proper, Robotnik, maybe Jim Carrey would be like in an egg suit and it'd be like massive moustache. Maybe it'd be proper Eggman, proper Robotnik. Looking forward to Sonic Hedgehog 2. Like, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, more than I could ever imagine to do so. So the fact that they did amazingly well, it just warms my heart because Sonic the Hedgehog was the first video game I ever played. So it's just, there's a lot of nostalgia there. There's a lot of love there. So yeah, really hyped for. I wouldn't say hyped is the wrong way. I'm very hopeful and looking forward to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But I've heard they've already changed the voice actor for Sonic, which is a bit weird. So I hope that doesn't affect the film too much in terms of being a bit jarring from going from one film to the next. But I digress. Drago says, by the way, have you read the Monsterverse comics? I haven't. I do have. What's the in between comic for? Oh fuck, what's it called? Is it called Aftermath? Is it called Aftermath? The in between comic between between Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters. I think it's called Aftermath. You Aftershock. That's what it's called. Aftershock. Yeah, I've got that comic. I've not read it yet though. I'm not the I'm not a big comic guy, so it takes a lot for me to read a comic. So bear with me there, man. Bear with me. BG London says, my guilty pleasure is Supergirl 1984, starring Helen Slater. Don't judge me, please. If you enjoy it, that's all good, mate. I got to sneeze, guys. I got to sneeze. How do I mute myself? Right. I'm back. I sneezed. Do apologise. I don't judge you, man. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I don't think it's a particularly good film. I don't think it's really that good, but if you enjoy it, that's what matters. What I think about the film shouldn't matter to you if you enjoy it. That's it. You know, it's fun to hear people's opinions on films, but at the end of the day, if you enjoy a film that other people don't, who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit? Playdon guy says, favorite Ewan McGregor film. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. It's a good question. I'm probably going to throw out Big Fish because I really like that film. I think Big Fish is a really good, very much a striking movie in terms of its presentation. It's got a fucking beautifully heartwarming story as well. So Big Fish will probably be up there. And my favourite Ewan McGregor films. I'm trying to think what else is in. I know it's obviously like Obi-Wan, but I'm not the biggest fan of the prequel trilogy. Star Wars. I can't think. My brain's gone dead now. He's been in loads of stuff, but I can't think. But Big Fish is the thing that comes to mind. So I'm just going to stick with Big Fish, if I'm honest. Moving Mad is in the chat. Hello, sir. He says, "Hi, folks. Well, welcome to the stream." Mike McBurney says, "Eyes Wide Shut" is a very underrated Kubrick movie. I'm not sure if that's on the premium collection, but if it is, I need to snag it because I've heard good things about that film. Then guy says, have you seen that new Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, I really can't talk to that, guys. Have you seen that new Guardians of the Galaxy game from Square Enix? It's been getting some high praise. I've seen it, but it doesn't look like a game for me. It does look like kind of just like mash X to shoot or fight and win. It doesn't look like it's particularly engaging, but I could be wrong. It could be a really, really good kind of a basic game in principle, but have a great narrative, and that's what might hook me. But right now, I think it's like £45 in CEX. On the used market, it's not exactly cheaper. So I'll wait till it's a £20 game, if I'm honest. Pick it up when it's cheap. Mike McBurney says, have you seen The Burning? Very similar to this is a running joke on this channel. It's not a joke. It's actually my main, like, this is my true opinions, but it's become a running joke. I really don't like The Burning. I think The Burning is really shit. I don't like it at all. I think it's bad. There's one sequence midway through the film that's great. I'm just going to say it takes place. It's the raft sequence. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the film. But everything surrounding this movie, aside from that one scene, I just thought it was crap. Didn't like it at all, guys. I know there's a lot of fans of The Burning. I know it's got a massive cult following in terms of 80s slashers, but for me, it's not good. I didn't like it at all. And it's one of the only Arrow titles that I've bought that I sold after watching. And it's very rare that I ever do that with my films. So that tells you everything you need to know that, unfortunately. Mike Wood says, how do you feel about Godzilla vs. Hedorah? That's one of my favorite Godzilla sequels. I think it's very underrated. I don't think it gets enough love within the Godzilla community. I think Hedorah is probably one of the most formidable foes to fight Godzilla. I think he really, I don't think any other Godzilla antagonist has really kind of stood up, basically gave Godzilla such a hard time. Maybe Destroyer would be another pick for that, but I think when it comes to Hedorah was a great villain and really kind of gave Godzilla a tough time. Yeah, it's a great one. It's a good. Now I want to watch it. Thanks, Mike. I want to watch that now. But yeah, it's a good one. It's very underrated, and I think it's one of the better villains in the Godzilla franchise. Movie Man says, I just bought Batteries Not Included. Great movie. I remember watching it as a kid, but I don't think I've ever rewatched it as an adult. And I think me and Soph found a DVD copy in the charity shop, but I didn't buy it. Maybe I should have bought it. Movie Man also says The Island is a good Ewan McGregor. I've seen that. Has it got Scarlett Johansson in it? They're like meant to be about an island of where they've got like a secret lab and they're making clones of people, or something to that effect. I'm sure I've seen that film, and I'm sure I fairly enjoyed it. Sophie says, serious question. Fucking hell. Serious question, right? How did I get so lucky? Sorry, I am cringe. You are cringe, Soph, but I love you for it. Keith is in the chat. Euphoria Pictures. Hello, Keith. Welcome to the stream. He says, hey, Jason, thought I'd pop in and say hello. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm doing all right, man. Not doing too bad. I hope you're doing well, my dude. Platon Guy says, favorite Pixar movie for me, Toy Story 2 or Up. See, like, I don't think I've seen many of the newer Pixar films. See, I get confused now with Pixar because a lot of Disney's own animated stuff is CG as well now. So there's not much of a discerning. What's the word? I don't know. There's not much of a difference in animation style now between Pixar and Disney. So I always get them muddled up. Because when Big Hero 6 came out, I genuinely thought that was a Pixar movie. It's not. It's just a Disney movie. I love that film, by the way. Pixar, though, yeah, I haven't really seen that many. Is Inside Out a Pixar movie? Because I love that. I thought Inside Out was great. I can't think of anything else in terms of Pixar, especially recent Pixar. But yeah, in terms of classic Pixar, yeah, Toy Story 3. That's not really classic. It's only like been 11 years old or so. But I love Toy Story 3. Absolutely love that film. I love Monsters Inc. as well. That's great. I love all the early ones. Bug's Life is fantastic as well. I can't really pick, but a lot of the later ones, I get confused now, which is Pixar and which isn't. I don't know if you guys have had that recently with the way Disney are no longer doing like traditional animation. They're doing computer animation, and it gets, at least back in the day when you had the classic, like, Lion King, Pinocchio, all those kind of classic hand-drawn animated Disney films, then you had Pixar, which was bringing in this innovative kind of CG animation. There was that great contrast between the two styles of animation. Now it just feels like it's just gone like this, and I get confused. I don't know about you guys, but I do. Drago says, wait. I thought you shit talked Burning 2019. Damn, was I raging for a second? No, I'm talking about the 1980 slasher film, which is shit. Didn't like it. He's talking to Keith. Draco says, good old Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Love that weird ass movie. Also, check out the German release title, Frankenstein's Fight with the Devil Monsters. Wow. Yeah, Godzilla has had one wonderful foray of titles across different territories and wonderful posters to go with them. The posters in different territories for Godzilla films are amazing. Martin McBurney says, what's your opinion of Godzilla 1998? As a Godzilla film, it's a betrayal of the character. If you look into the history of Godzilla 1998, Roland Emmerich wanted to move away as far as possible from the Japanese roots of the character. That's why we get barely any characteristics of Godzilla in the film. But as just a cheesy 90s monster film, I think it's fine. I have a lot of entertainment value from it. I think it's fun. I don't hate it like a lot of like proper old school Godzilla fans do. But for me, I just think it's fine. But as a Godzilla fan, as a Godzilla film, I don't think it's good at all. But as I'm just a generic kind of 90s cheesy monster film, it's fine. It's fine and dandy. Sophie says, will you be checking out Lightyear next year? Hearing David Bowie in the trailer sold me. I thought that trailer was very great. Was really good. I love where they're taking the Buzz Lightyear character and bringing him into more of a real world as real as you can get, I suppose, with a Pixar film. Kind of, they just doing that kind of more grounded approach from it is really, really clever, and I just think it looked great. I think it might be the surprise of the year, I reckon. So I'm looking forward to that one. Blaine Tenyo guy says, if you had the chance to rewrite a script and story to a film, what would it be? For me, it would be The Last Jedi, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. Rewrite a film. Oh man. I'm going to throw this out there. It's going to be a weird one. So, I'm a big Friday the 13th fan, but part 5 isn't very good, The New Beginning. Part 5 pretty much takes place where you get an older Tommy Jarvis, murders happen, and people are seeing Jason Voorhees again. Turns out it's a copycat killer. It's not really Jason Voorhees. It's a very convoluted kind of motive why he decided to go around killing people. It's dumb. This is where my rewrite will come in. This film had so much potential to be Tommy Jarvis versus Jason Voorhees, and Tommy really facing his fears of Jason Voorhees and tackling it head on. I think that would have been a really good movie. We eventually got that film with Jason Lives, with Friday the 13th Part 6, but I think we could have set up Part 6 with Part 5 in a more kind of really kind of almost like a back-to-back kind of sequel kind of thing, and maybe rewrite Part 5 as a true Jason Voorhees movie, and have that kind of confrontation as an older Tommy Jarvis realizing Jason Voorhees is not dead, he's alive. That would be awesome. Figure out a way to defeat him in the end of that film, and then he gets resurrected. Part 6 just carries on as normal, like he gets resurrected with a lightning bolt. But yeah, Part 5 had a lot of potential that they just squandered, and it's not a very good film. But yeah, I think that film could have been written better. I don't think I could rewrite it better because I don't know how to. My ideas I'm just spitballing ideas at this point. But yeah, that's kind of the idea that comes to my head at first thought, I suppose. Mike Wood says, agree with you about Hedorah. I feared for Godzilla at times during that movie. Yeah, man, Hedorah is scary. He basically was almost pretty much a match almost for Godzilla. Really, really, really good villain. There's some awesome Hedorah merch on a website called Cavity Colors that I recommend, but it's not exactly cheap though. I put 2 t-shirts in the basket, and you're looking at about 70 quid for just 2 t-shirts, which is quite expensive. Movie Mad says The Others has dropped to £6 in CEX, was 18 quid a few weeks ago. Good time to make a purchase. Nice. Is that the Ghost movie or something along those lines, right? The Others? I don't know. It's like a spooky horror film, right? Robert Fetz Bounty in the chat. Hello, Rob. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Playtime the guy says, I would recommend the Hammer Horror Dracula films on the premium range. They're a lot of cheesy fun. Yeah, I was looking at those. I'm thinking about getting them. Keith says, I was meant to tell you the other day, Jason, but I finally got Malignant Blu-ray through the door. I hope it lives up to the hype. Yes, Keith. I really hope you I really, really hope you have a good time with it, because it's my film of the year. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. Yeah, I hope you have a good time with it. I really do. It's not a film you don't go into it taking it seriously. It's not to be taken seriously at all. It is absolutely batshit insane, but it's batshit insane on purpose, and it's really channeling the giallo kind of genre of horror movies, and I think you might have a good time with it. I hope you'll have a good time with it. I caved and I pre-ordered the Zavi Steelbook in the end as well, so I'm looking forward to receiving that when that comes out. But you got yours well early. I'm not due to get mine for fucking like the end of December. That's crazy. BG London says, thoughts on the 2014 Godzilla movie? 10 out of 10. It's my second favorite Godzilla film of all time. It's the film that got me into Godzilla. I wouldn't be a Godzilla fan now if it wasn't for Godzilla 2014. So basically, I watched that and then went backwards and watched the original Godzilla and the Showa era and Heisei era. But yeah, the 2014 Godzilla, I watched it recently with Sophie on 4K, and again, it's just perfect to me. and it has one of the best kills of any movie ever at the end. The way Godzilla dispatches the meteor at the end is fucking just the most dominant badass thing I've ever seen in a movie. It's so cool. I absolutely adore Godzilla 2014. The sense of scale in that movie is second to none. It's unbelievable. Draco says, more funny German Godzilla titles. Terror of Mecha Godzilla is literally Conga Godzilla King Kong, the brood of it. What? Where do they get these titles from, man? Like, how does that have anything to do with what Terror of Mecha Godzilla is? Like, King Kong's not even. I'm not even gonna think about figuring that out. That's gonna make my brain hurt. And Sophie says, Keith, Malignant is great. I love it. Yep, it's fucking awesome. My film of the year. I'm so happy I got pre-ordered that steelbook. I'm well looking forward to it. Any more questions, my guys? Any more questions, mateys? Yeah, it's too late now, man. I totally forgot about it, if I'm honest. And I paid for it through PayPal credit on Zavvi. That's the reason why I kind of went for Zavvi over Amazon Italy. I don't think you can pay via PayPal on Amazon Italy. Shame, but it is what it is. I'm looking forward to the unboxing if you're doing that, Keith, because you do, like I keep saying, Keith, you do the best unboxings on YouTube, period. I don't care about these unbox therapy channels that have millions of subscribers. I don't care about those guys. They can fuck off. You do the best unboxings on YouTube. I tell you that now. I tell you that now, man. You do the best unboxings on YouTube, son. Hell yeah. Any more questions for me, guys? Because it's, like I keep saying, this stream hinges on chat engagements because I am going to be dying on a hill if it does not. Keith says, the unboxing is coming soon, Jason. Trust me. Oh, yeah. Draco said, they have these weird-ass titles till Godzilla versus Mothra 92, which is called Get Ready for that Battle of the Dinosaur Mutants. Brilliant. Brilliant. I absolutely love the Heisei Godzilla vs. Mothra movie, though, by the way. I love that film. I think it's great. I think I prefer the 64 movie, but I still love the Heisei one. I love them both. I think they're great. Sophie says, I'm so tempted to run away with Keith for his accent. I hope you don't mind, my love. I do mind. It's not a very nice thing to say, is it? Anyway, Keith says, very kind of you, Jason. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Mate, it's no problem, man. Like, I'm just being honest with you, man. I just, your production value for your unboxings is what's great about it. And, you know, hearing how excited you are to show stuff off is just, it's infectious. You know, your personality is infectious. Nintendo guy says, we'll be getting a new Xbox Series console or PS5 in the future. Maybe. I'm kind of over it at this point. Obviously, not having a job for all this time and it's barely impossible to get them doesn't help. But I'm kind of over it at the moment. Kind of over it. I'll get them when I get them. I'm not really in a rush anymore. Beach in London says, do you have a favorite movie genre? I'd say horror, by extension, monster movies. They kind of go hand in hand, really, monster movies and horror. Yeah, probably that, if I'm honest. Only joking, my love. That's fine. I have nothing to do with this, Jason. I'm glad. Playing the guy says, what is your favorite Brad Pitt film? Seven. All day long. Seven is, I think, is his best performance. I think it's his best character. I absolutely love Brad Pitt in Seven. I think it's fantastic. The final sequence, the final sequence of Seven, Brad Pitt, his performance in that last 10 minutes is magnificent and absolutely heart-wrenching at the same time. Drago says, just watching the trailer for Godzilla vs. Mothra 92, the mystic, the action, the designs, the soundtrack. Yeah, man, I love that movie. Love it. Pledging Guy says, what is your favourite Edgar Wright film? It may sound boring because it just came out, but I've not seen enough of his other. I've seen, so in context, I've seen Shaun of the Dead. Not the biggest fan of that film. I think it's fine. I've seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I've seen what I would say probably his best film, which is Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho is just unbelievably good. I can't express how good it is. It's just that good. It's so good. Everyone needs to see Last Night in Soho. It's amazing. Sophie says Brad Pitt in True Romance was funny. He was like a really just twatty, dopey stoner head. He was great. Luigi London says favorite Tom Cruise movie, Collateral. Mate, Collateral's a really good shout. That's a really underrated Tom Cruise movie, a very underrated one. I'm going to throw in The Ring for favorite Tom Cruise movie. I'm going to throw out there Edge of Tomorrow. I love that film. Edge of Tomorrow is great. Really, really good. Really love that movie. So yeah, I'll probably say Edge of Tomorrow is my favorite Tom Cruise movie. I think it's really fun. Sophie says, Last Night in Soho is a film made for me. See, I told you it would be. Like I said, as soon as I walked out of the cinema, I was like, this is a film for Sophie. Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. The way they composed the shots is just unbelievably good. Like, I really am surprised how good they are, if I'm honest. But you said, Sophie, there was like really cool kind of behind the scenes stuff. So I need to check that out at some point. Drago says, unfortunately, there is no good German release of the first four Heisei Godzilla movies. The old DVDs have almost VHS quality and terrible audio. Man, I've got all the films on VHS, and that's part of the charm, isn't it not? In my opinion, like, I love putting in, like, you know, Godzilla versus Biollante and just be like really cheesy, bad, kind of like just VHS quality. Just, yeah, to me, it adds to the charm, but I understand what you mean, where you want some like crystal clear, crisp transfers of those films. That's a shame, man. But, you know, Toho do have a stranglehold on this franchise, unfortunately. They don't like to release it outside of Japan at all. And, you know, I'm lucky. I'm surprised that Criterion got the fucking Showa movies, if I'm honest. It still blows my mind that they even were able to do that. Sophie says, yeah, the behind the scenes of the mirror shots and dance shots is fucking epic. Yeah, man. I need to check it out. But yeah, the film is unbelievable. Absolutely awesome. Right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I know I've only been on an hour, but I'm actually quite tired, and my throat's going already. My voice is going already. So everyone, thanks for joining the stream and having a chat with me. I've really enjoyed the questions. I really enjoyed just hanging out. It's been really good. One more question. It has some charm, but looking at the Toho Blu-rays, which I own for Heisei, they look amazing. Awesome. Yeah, as I was saying, sorry, it's been great. Thank you everyone for watching. If you don't do me a favor and like this video, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. You know, check out my content. I would really appreciate it. Jump on the channel on Monday. I have a brand new video that I'm really happy with, that I think you might like. I talk about unpopular films that I really enjoy. So check that video out on Monday. But anyway, guys, it's just a short one tonight. It's for me to go to bed, or not go to bed right now, but it's for me just to chill out and just not think of the world. So I will see you next time.